Hello, this is the tutorial for the realistic elevator that I made. Hope you guys find it useful because I don't make tutorials, or at least not public ones. And so, if you guys are seeing this, congratulations, you found a tutorial from Dracoman. You won't find many of these, to be honest. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So you'll need to start to fit all the redstone that I have in here. Yeah, there may be ways of compacting this, and you guys might be smart enough to do that, but I'm too lazy. Anyways, to start, we will need, for my redstone setup at least, we will need a 12 by 9 square. And then everything you see here in my inventory are all the materials you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need more of each block, but you know, these are the actual blocks that you're going to need. And if I missed any of the blocks, say piggers down in the comments section. And the first thing we're going to do is put 2 blocks right there in the center, just like that. And then go back 1, 2, 3, 2 more blocks, and then 1, 2, 3. So we should have a funky looking F like that. And then we're going to want to do some redstone here, and then all along here like so, and then have 2 repeaters right there for delay. Next thing we're going to want to have is an obsidian 1 block away from this edge, and then 1 block away from that edge. And the next thing we're going to want to do is destroy everything you just made and shift it up 1 block because I made a mistake. And then once you have done that, go ahead and put a block here with a piston here and a repeater right here, and then a block right there, I believe. No, that was incorrect. Don't put a block there, put an observer there, like so. Obviously, you'll want to duplicate this onto the other side. And then, also something else you'll need is a piece of obsidian that is that high, that is just like so. If this is the layer of the wool, you're going to need 1, 2 blocks above the wool. Yep, okay, you guys know it. Now is the time to say piggers. I forgot a block. But you'll want to put this block 2 blocks above the redstone. So not directly above it. This is directly above the redstone. You want to put it above the block, directly above the redstone. So put those there, and then put pistons on the end, or facing downwards on top of those. And then you'll also want to put 2 pistons right here facing outwards, and then put 2 observers also facing outwards right there, along with the block directly away, or directly 1 block away from them. And then for the next part, go ahead and just make it look like this, just a little upside down arc there, and then do the same thing on this side. And then for the arc, go up 1, 2, and then over 1. So 1, 2, over 1. And then just cover that whole thing in redstone dust. And then of course I'm just using iron blocks. You guys can use whatever blocks you want for this part, but you're going to want to put your floor blocks, the first floor blocks right here, and then, oh my gosh, put another pickers in the comment section, I forgot the button. And then put your 2 buttons right there, and then the door of the machine is going to be right here. And then on my original design, I had this cross beam above the door. You guys don't have to add that if you don't want to, but it kind of works as like the ceiling for the first floor. So like if the ceiling was right here for the first floor, then it sort of just acts like the rest of the ceiling, instead of there being glass there for you just to look at nothing but the ceiling, you know. So of course you guys don't have to have that if you don't want to. If you guys had like a taller room or something, then you could just have glass right there. But just for my sake, I'm just going to put more iron blocks there. Oh, and then of course you're going to have to put iron blocks here as well, acting as the floor between the first floor and the elevator. And then something else you're going to have to do underneath that is make 2 obsidian blocks here, so just the corners are touching right there, and then range that out to make that a square, and then build upwards like so, so it's kind of just like a dip, you know. And then coming back to these wool arcs, we're going to go over 1 and then down 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then that should be just above this observer here. And then obviously do that to the other side, and then cover both of them in redstone. And then that is actually the entire bottom section finished. We might as well just add in the actual elevator itself on the bottom section as well. To start the elevator, of course, we're going to have the floor, which is going to be just inside that divot of obsidian. And then we're going to have each of the walls. All of these are just going to be a 2 by 2 section, and so we're going to have walls on either side of the floor, and then obviously we're going to have a back wall as well as a ceiling. And then for the actual sticky part of this, we're going to have slime all the way along there, just so that it looks like that. And then right in front of the slime, we're going to have honey blocks. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. And then you guys can have slime blocks grabbing this back wall here. And that is all of the parts slime-wise that are connected to the elevator. Of course, we'll also want pistons going to be right here. And then since the elevator is actually down, we're actually going to move these doors to an open position, so that once we click these buttons, it will close the doors and then send off the elevator. Alright, so here we're going to have a loop of slime, and you're just going to go down 1, 2, 3, just like that. And then we're going to have a little bit of a corner there, and then we're going to expand that down this way like so, so that you have a funky shape looking like that. So the next thing we're going to want to have is an observer facing here, here, and here, and then actually you're going to come around and just flip those in the opposite direction. And then you're going to have pistons right here and here, one facing downwards right next to them, and then one facing upwards right here. And then you're also going to want to have, you're going to actually destroy this observer here, that's very important, and then put a redstone block right here, and then go ahead and replace that observer. And then you're going to want to duplicate that entire setup onto the other side of the machine, just to make sure that the doors are synced up and the flying machine takes off by itself in unison. Remember to destroy the observer when you're putting the redstone block in. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much if you don't. It's just going to move the doors back and forth, and I just find that really annoying. Alright, and now we have the next part of the circuit, which is going to be an observer facing right here with a corner of slime right here, I believe. Yes, that is correct. And then we're going to have a piston right here with another corner of slime like so. And then another piston right there with 2 pistons right here, just like that, facing these slime blocks here. And then we're going to have more observers right here facing that direction. And that, my friends, is the entire elevator finished. Now we have to work on the redstone at the top. So first things first, you're going to want to build this up like so, to whatever height I suppose you would want. Although I believe the necessary height for it to work is at least, I think, 4 or 5 glass blocks. I'm going to say 5 to be safe, so we're going to build this the shortest as possible. So this is the full 5 blocks, and that should be enough to make it work. And that would put the floor of the next part of this right here, with the doors being right here and the cross being right there. Okay, so for the top part of the elevator, we're going to have blocks here and here, making that same kind of divot that we had at the bottom. And the next thing you're going to want to do is put not necessarily immovable blocks, but just blocks that don't stick to slime when it moves past them. So things like terracotta, or like furnaces, or hoppers, or things like that. That will just not stick to slime blocks when they go up. And then I suppose you could actually also place them all the way up to floor level like so. And then that should be, yep, that's all of the things you need. Of course, you can also use shulkers. Probably should mention that. You can use shulkers to do that as well. And then also use that same kind of corner block for these top sections right here. Then you're going to want to have pistons underneath here with observers facing outwards, just like on the bottom. And then you're going to want to have wool blocks right here and here, and then go up 1, 2, and then over 1. And then you can go ahead and put redstone on top of all of that, and then do the same thing on the other side. Alright, this next part is kind of weird, so bear with me. So we're going to go down 1 in the other direction, and then over 1 like this, with a piston here and a block up in the air above the piston like that. And then you're also going to want 2 more blocks here. And then we're also going to have blocks here and here, and then another block down there. And obviously make sure these are not necessarily immovable, but make sure they don't stick to slime blocks. And then go ahead and put redstone here, 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 and here. And then another repeater here, like that, and then a repeater there. Now, I know that was a lot, so if you guys need to, definitely go back through the footage and make sure you guys caught all of that. Wow, Maryfield. Okay, and then you're also going to want an observer there, And then the next thing you're going to do is actually just duplicate that entire setup onto the other side, like so. Now, I don't know if you guys did this differently than me. I don't imagine you would have. But on the side that has the piston of the back wall of the elevator, on the side that has the piston, we're going to go out by 1 block, and then go up 1, over 1, just like this, and then put redstone along there, like so. And then we should have an observer right here. And I believe that is the entire elevator. Oh, and I guess I was wrong. I suppose you can actually shorten this glass section, the up and down section, by 2 blocks, it seems. So I guess you could have this thing be 2 blocks shorter, but that would be the max. Or would it be minimum? I honestly wouldn't know with this. Now, listen to me. Before you test this, I'm going to test it. If it breaks, don't test it. So I'm going to make a backup quick and make sure this thing works properly, and then you guys can... Oh crap, yeah, look, I already forgot. So this is not, I mean, it's not going to break it, but make sure you have the buttons there as well. Okay, so now that should be the whole thing, and it has indeed fit in the footprints I have given it, which is just magnificent. And of course, you guys can try and make this more compact if you need to, but I suppose... Okay, I'm going to go make a backup quick and then test the whole thing. So if this thing doesn't work, again, don't test it. I'll fix it, and then you guys can fix it with me, and then I'll test it again. But it should work. I can't imagine why it wouldn't. Okay, let's go ahead and test this out. It's working, it's working, it's working, it's working, it's working. Look at that. Okay, I think it's actually working just as it should. So if we do this again, closes the doors, goes down, opens the doors. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. So if you come in here, it's working just as it should have. So you guys can actually go ahead and this thing is working. I mean, yeah, this is the whole thing. That is all I have for you guys today in this episode. So, or not this episode, this tutorial. See, again, I don't do tutorials, so that felt weird just saying that. So if you enjoyed this tutorial and found it very useful, then make sure to leave a comment down below and leave a like, because that would really help. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.